morning, my friends. This is Rick, and this is your seat at the table. We are looking at a review of Iron Crown Enterprises Star Wars The ISIS Coordinates Adventure Module Handbook, however you want to look at it. Rebels battle the Imperial Survey Corps, scouts to save an Alliance starfighter factory world. Ooh. This is, let's see what we got here. 64-page book, features detailed descriptions of the rebel factory world of ISIS, deck plans for the Corellian gunship Handry, which is the stage for dramatic conflict of rebels and Imperials. Blah. So let's see. This was printed in 1990. I don't remember ever running this as a campaign or part of a campaign. I have read it a couple times over the years, but it just was something that never came up. I purchased this in 1990 for $10, right? By Christopher Kublisk. Kudos to you, Kublisk. Good job. So we got in here. Let's get into this introduction, the adventure, rank play, adventure world, ISIS. So basically, this was a hitherto unknown world, or was not in the normal data or the galactic exploration base. So the rebels got their wind of it and started setting it up as a safe world for families and dependents of people who were fighting the Empire. They also, in turn, discovered that the place was populated by a crystalline people. So the planet is a crystal-based planet, mineral-rich, etc., etc. The primary planet is a huge crystalline world covered with translucent mountains and giant spires that reflect the sun's light into countless rainbows. The environment of ISIS is hospitable to most sentient forms in the galaxy, and it has several native life forms, all of them based on organic minerals. Most prominent of the planet are the Gudates, a nomadic crystal people that roam the plains of the world. So we got the Imperial Survey Corps, which is a division of the Imperial Navy. And its job is to track down and catalog new worlds. The Corps is composed of scientists and scouts to explore the furthest reaches of the galaxy in small teams aboard long-range survey craft. An average ISC records a new world for the Empire every 207 minutes. Adventure synopsis. Main NPCs. Episode 1, Discovery. The summary. Adventure begins with the rebels coming out of the hyperspace in the ISIS system. Their mission is to install a stolen transponder code in the rebel gunboat Handry and then escort the ship to the blockaded world of Palomar. As soon as the rebels come out of hyperspace, however, their sensors pick up a ship that isn't broadcasting an Alliance transponder code. Since ISIS is a secret rebel colony, every ship encountered in the system should transmit a rebel-confirmed transponder code. After checking the ship out, the rebels discovers an Imperial Survey Corps scout ship. They move in to chase the Imperials to the planet's surface, where they take part in a high-speed chase through the planet's crystalline ravines and canyons. All that typical high adventure. So we got running the picket, ships and passing the night, a adventure script for beginning the campaign with, information. So basically, ISIS is a rebel colony. Rebel Zero knows some information. This ISIS rebel colony established by Elgana when the Old Republic began to crumble. Crystalline world. As crystals disrupt transmission and sensors, all communications on ISIS is through fiber optics, such as telephones, landlines. A little bit more information on what you can get, what you can learn if you make high enough rolls. Dramatic license through the crystal canyons. So by this time the Wanderer has sustained no damage from rebel characters and a hit from an X-Wing that the Imperials have decided to bring the craft down for emergency landing to make repairs. Even if the characters haven't gotten any hits against the Wanderer yet, the hits from taken from the X-Wings are enough to drive the Imperials to Earth. Continue to chase for 2 more rounds and then read. Right? Running the chase, added additional danger, maneuvering around boulders, shooting the boulders, losing the quarry. I ain't flying my ship in there. Do you know what those things cost? What these things cost? If the rebels never enter the canyon in the first place, you can improvise another accident which causes their ship to malfunction and crash, or you let the Imperials escape. The rebels have little choice but to go to Nescroft and warn the authorities. Despite everybody's best efforts, the Imperials sneak into the city to steal a Handry. You can return to the storyline in Episode 3 with minor adjustments. Episode 2, The Crystal Warriors. In this episode, the rebels must first dig themselves out from under the avalanche. Once they've done this, they meet a native tribe and engage in a ritual battle of which passes for hello on the planet. Once the greetings have been exchanged and the injured tended to, the natives may take the rebels to the crashed Imperial ship. Rebels explore the ship, getting clues about the plans that the scouts have made, and then the natives give the rebels a lift to the city. So buried alive, getting out, meeting the natives, fighting the fight for life. There's a picture of the would-be heroes engaging in a hello match with the local crystal-based aliens. They gotta be some really hard stuff to be punching, if you ask me. After the fight, new friends, the Crystal Miracle, the Wanderer. Here is the diagram of the ISV Wanderer scout vessel, deep space scout vessel. Various rooms and cabins and things like this. View directions. So we went to episode 3, The Chase again. Rebels arrive at Nescroft and explain the situation to city officials. The rebels then join in the search for the Imperials, which leads them to the city's starport. Once there, the rebels see the Imperials boarding the Handry, the Corellian gunship carrying medical supplies that Polliner so desperately needs in the war against the Empire. Since the ship can't be shot down without destroying the supplies, the rebels board the ship to stop the Imperials. Fortunately, they do not make it in time. The rebels find themselves trapped on board the gunship as it zips through hyperspace bound for an Imperial naval base. So now you're on board a captured rebel gunship flagged by an Imperial survey crew, and you have to retake the ship. So 2 options. What the Imperials do, the starport, the Handry's departure, 2 handles. So here's our Corellian gunship. Episode 4. The summary. In this episode, the Imperials set Handry on a course through the hyperspace Substructure system. The Imperial Navy has recently set up a base on Miser, the Substructure system's first planet from the sun. The Imperial scouts know all that they have to do is survive the hyperspace journey, and they will be rescued by the Imperial Navy on the other end. With this in mind, they set up a series of traps and ambushes to delay the rebels. Some employ complicated locks and doors, others are more deadly. Most potent, though, are the threat against the medical supplies and Handry's cargo bay. Excuse me for yawning. The Imperials secure the safe hiding place for the hyperspace journeys while the rebels fight to save the precious supplies. So, there's your schematics for the gunship, location of different rooms and stuff. Jump into hyperspace, breaking through to the bridge. Too late to stop the jump. Nav computer and the command console. What the Imperials are doing. Traps, toss distraction. At this point, in all likelihood, only Taunt and Tulk are alive. Any other Imperials are still around. Assume that they are traveling with Captain Taunt. Use them as cannon fodder to keep her alive until the end of the adventure. That's typical for those dastardly Imperials. Here, you take this and go out there and stop the rebels until you're dead. Forward hold, cargo door controls, the cargo, fixing the controls, moving the crates. Schematic is a puzzle for reprogramming the computer. Finding the control panels containing the correct size chips, superstructure. One or more of the rebels might wish to pursue the Imperials into the superstructure of the ship. The superstructure is a tangle of pipes, wires, ducts, and vents, very noisy and smell-filling. In addition to the superstructure area is not under influence of the ship's artificial gravity. Alright. 0G fight, Imperials in the black box, the journey's end. So we got episode 5 captured. The episode begins with the characters arriving in the Bestman system with little chance to do anything about it. They are captured by the Desolator, Imperial class Star Destroyer, and then are shipped down to the newly constructed naval base on the planet Miser. They are scheduled for interrogation, but the timely assistance of a rebel secret agent saves themselves from a hideous fate. So Rather they, so at the end of the day, even if the rebels managed to retake the Handry's computer, Navi computer is locked in. So unless they're very, very successful in getting in, they're still not going to prevent it from making its, completing its jump right into the waiting arms of a loving Star Destroyer, which then sets it up for the ability, you know, escaping from the Star Destroyer, board the Desolator, meeting a Admiral Green Duff, the planet's surface. There you go. All right. Welcome to Miser, getting out of the cell. The cells, the prison area. Meanwhile, we have ways to make you talk. Rescue from the torture chamber. Bad news, good news. Or bad news and good plans. To skirmish with the Imperials, the rebel agents gather the PCs together to talk to them. Meanwhile, ordering one or more of them to repair or blast through the secret door. The agent introduces himself as Uther Blaze when he's not posing as an Imperial security officer. It's a warm smile, seems to be in an upbeat mood. Yeah, right. Running a battle. God, the valued days. Episode 6, The Final Gambit. This episode has two main elements of action. First, deleting the ISIS coordinates from the nav computer of the Desolator. Second, the escape from the Star Destroyer. The driving force of the episode is the fact that the Desolator will be jumping into hyperspace in 20 minutes. The rebels are under a lot of pressure. Right? Nothing like having your helmet on and having a bandana wrapped around your head to let everybody know that you're not really a stormtrooper. So, Elmo's final plan, arriving at Desolator, what Blaze does, doing the nav computer, reprogramming a hyperdrive setting. We're going to hijack a Star Destroyer? Well, I suppose. Alright. The puzzle, the tractor beams, repairing the Handry. Trying to escape. Dramatic departure last minute. The climax of the ISIS coordinates take place in the last minute before the Desolator jumps to hyperspace. The last minute is divided into 12 rounds, although this isn't very much time. A lot can happen in the last minute. And not to prevent the rebels from escaping the Desolator. When the rebels are set, read the cutaway to the stormtroopers, etc. I assume that the rebels don't manage to escape in that 12 rounds, that they're on a further journey, which will require a different set of modules. Anyway, so here's the escape, success or failure, etc., etc. Awards, or an NPC templates. There you go. Sounds like a really, I've always kind of wanted to run that one, but I never had an opportunity to. The group I was playing at that time, I think we were really in deep into Shadowrun at that. It was either Shadowrun, no, it was either Shadowrun or we were doing MERP really deep at that point. But we were kind of bouncing in and out of Star Wars on occasion when we needed something to break up, you know, what we were doing with the other major campaign, because that's the way it kind of plays out. So anyway, this is the ISIS coordinates. Until next time, have a great weekend.